January of 1962, Floyd Patterson was invited to the White House to talk to President Kennedy.
You are in a private screening room in mid-Manhattan, where two world's champions, Floyd Patterson, world's heavyweight boxing champion, and his friend Jim Jacobs, world's handball champion and boxing history expert, are watching the story of Floyd Patterson's fight career.
Floyd, did you really tell the president who you were going to fight?
Yes, I did.
Well, then President Kennedy was the first man to find out that you were going to fight Sonny Liston.
Yes, he was.
Well, that's quite a jump to come from a Brooklyn slum to shake the hand of the President of the United States. So many kids who've come out of the slums have gone on to become fighters. Is that why you became a fighter?
Well, I was fortunate. I did come from the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. My two older brothers were fighters before I was, and I guess it was because of them that I became a fighter. I became interested in it. I used to carry their bags back and forth to and from the gymnasium and to the different amateur fights. And it was at that time that I began training myself, and my trainer then thought that I was good enough to go into the Golden Gloves, so I enlisted in the Golden Gloves in 1950.
This is one of your very early Golden Glove fights in 1951 with John Gibson.
Yes, I remember this one. In fact, I lunged into the air, as you see, and I kept lunging, and he ducked as I did so, and I rolled over and stood on my head. I didn't know that I was standing on my head until I seen the papers the next day. They took a picture of me standing directly on my head. That's not the only thing I remember in this one. This was for the 1951 Golden Glove Championship.
There you are in the black trunks on the right.
Yes, I believe this fight was at Madison Square Garden.
Wow. What a punch. When you hit a man like that, do you ever wonder, think, is he going to get up, or do you know sometimes?
No, you never know, actually. Of course, I have hit guys like that, and they have been very badly hurt, but did get up, and other times they didn't. Of course, you never really know.
Now, here against Harold Carter, and you're on the right. What was this for?
This was for the Eastern Golden Glove Light Heavyweight Championship. This fight was in 1952.
I see.
I think this was also at the Garden.
Just a young boy then. How old were you, do you remember?
In 1952, I was 17.
Harold Carter went on to become the fifth-ranking heavyweight in the professional division.
Yes, I know. In fact, I trained with him up in camp, I think, in 1954. The funny part about it was, in training, I hit him with the same type of a punch that I did here, as you'll see, and the same results.
The referee wouldn't let it continue. There you are in the black trunks.
We were fighting for the Intercity Golden Glove Light Heavyweight Championship. In 1951, I had lost the middleweight championship against Chicago. I was so determined in 52 in this particular fight here, not to lose, because I had lost the first year, was 51, and I definitely didn't want to lose again. But Eddie Jones proved to be one of my toughest amateur fights. He stayed on top of me all the time, and was consistently throwing punches. In fact, this is the way the fight went the whole 3 rounds. Of course, fortunately, in the last round, I was able to knock him down, and I think that's what won me the fight.
And here you declared the winner.
Because of my performances in 1952, I was chosen to represent my country in the Olympics in Helsinki, Finland. And I won, of course, 4 other boys won. There were 5 of us all together. And I would say getting off the plane at Idlewild Airport back in the United States, that was the proudest moment of my life at that point. There were reporters, and many of them asked me, did I fight a Russian? But I didn't fight a Russian. I fought a Romanian. I believe his name was Vasila Tita.
This is that final fight which you had in Helsinki in the Olympic Games.
Yes, I had had 3 fights at this point, and my opponent also had 3. And this was the finals. The first one I had won by a decision, and the next 2 were knockouts, and also this one. When the referee reached 10, I knew that I was the amateur champion of the world and I had won the Olympics. I felt very proud. This is when we received the medal. I was told to bow to the crowd. I think that's how they do it in foreign countries.
How soon will the doctors know definitely whether you're going to be able to fight in September?
About in 4 or 5 weeks.
The fight is still definitely scheduled with Archie Moore for the heavyweight championship, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, now, do you think that with the injury you're going to be able to be in good enough condition to fight otherwise?
Yes, I'll be doing everything else except boxing, and it'll only take me to get into good shape about 2 or 3 weeks of boxing.
Well, some of the writers are saying that you're not ready for more. What do you think of that?
Well, my manager thinks I am. If he does, I do too.
It must have caused a great deal of concern training for a heavyweight championship fight against Archie Moore with a broken hand, Floyd.
Yes, it did. In fact, many of the sports writers was trying to figure out how I'm going to fight for a championship match, and I couldn't box. All I could do was do road work and loosen up in the gymnasium. Of course, the doctors, they wanted to operate, but my manager, I forget the name of the doctor that he did get, gave me whirlpool treatments. Of course, the bone was here, the 4th metacarpal. He gave me whirlpool treatments, and it built up calcium around the bone, which made it stronger than what it would have been if they had operated.
Well, did your manager, Customato, want the hand to be operated on?
Well, he didn't know what to do. Some doctors said yes, it should be operated on, and others said no, whirlpool treatment would be the best. So as far as I was concerned, I didn't want any operation because doctors said that would put me out for a year or 2. And I wanted to fight for the championship, so I decided to gamble on the whirlpool treatments.
I remember that after you beat Jackson, he was then scheduled to meet Archie Moore. But your manager, Customato, went on a national radio hookup appealing to the public that you were the rightful contender to fight Archie for the title. And having the backing of all the boxing commissions, he was successful in getting the title fight.
I usually figure out the strategy that I'm going to use once I'm in there. Of course, Archie Moore, I had seen him fight a few times before, and I've always admired him, especially the way he operates once he's in the ring. He's a thinking fighter, and he plans practically every move he makes. Now, to me, I thought that this would be an extremely dangerous fight because Moore can take you out with one punch. And he has one of the best right hands in the business. I had to respect this along with all of his ability and his experience and everything else. I respected him, but naturally I fought the fight that was within me to fight. I tried to take advantage of every opportunity. And at the same time, be cautious.
And here you become the heavyweight champion of the world at the age of 21, the youngest man ever to win the heavyweight title.
Yes, this was another one of the proudest moments in my life. I'd finally reached the top as far as my occupation is concerned with Ingemar.
Introducing from Rockville Center, Long Island, weighing 190 pounds and wearing black trunks, the challenger, Floyd Patterson. From Gothenburg, Sweden, weighing 194 and 3/4 pounds and wearing white trunks, the heavyweight champion of the world, Ingemar Johansson.
Did you know that 7 heavyweight champions attempted to regain their title, including Jack Dempsey and Joe Louis? None of them were successful.
Yes, I know.
Everyone wondered in this fight whether you were going to come out and be aggressive.
That was my plan, to be aggressive, not give him a chance. See, Ingemar is the type of a fighter that needs plenty of room to get his punches across. And we figured that if I stay on top of him the whole time, I wouldn't be giving him this room. And if I use my jab just as much as he used his, then he probably wouldn't use his as much. See, a good defense was a good offense. So as you can see in these pictures, I was using my jab, constantly throwing punches, which never gave him a chance to set himself. No fight goes according to plans. We just figure the best way to fight the fight and hope that the results are favorable. In this fight, we were fortunate. The results were favorable. He just caught me with the right hand. That was the one that staggered me. Now, the right hand did hurt, but it didn't hurt that much. I knew where I was, and I knew what I was doing. The strategy in this round was for me to retreat once I get caught with a hard enough punch. And perhaps Ingemar would come rushing in like he did the first time I fought him, wide open for everything. But he never came in. He came in very cautiously, and he wasn't open at all. So after a while, I decided to continue fighting him the way I was. was when I first knocked him down, as you can see here. He did get back up, but I felt that I could, if I tried hard enough, perhaps even finish him this round. I just wanted to get inside, because I knew he was hurt.
I noticed you spun him around there. You didn't hit him when his back was turned.
No, I specifically didn't want to do that. I didn't want to make any mistakes in this fight. I didn't want to give anyone a chance to say that I was a dirty fighter or anything else.
Pandemonium broke loose. This is a slow motion of that knockout punch.
I don't think I can find words to express how I felt at that moment, except somewhat similar to the way I did in 1952 when I won the Olympics.
The time, 1 minute, 51 seconds of the fifth round, and the first man ever to regain the heavyweight championship, the winner, Floyd Patterson.
I was trying to sing a mob, but there were so many people around me, I was unable to get over to him until afterwards. I just wanted to reassure him that he would get a return match.
This was the question. After the last fight, there was some who said that Floyd Patterson was an overrated champion. Now, in view of last night's fight, does Floyd Patterson think that Johansson may have been an overrated champion?
Definitely not. I wouldn't say so. Even if he was, I would never say anything derogatory about any fighter, being a fighter myself. But I definitely don't think that he was overrated.
Floyd, was the punch that Floyd dropped Johansson with the hardest punch he ever hit anybody with?
I can't answer that one because I would have to go around and ask all the guys that I hit.